When we render, we generate an image of the scene that we have made. Rendering is done through a program called a render engine. Each engine has its own strengths and weaknesses, such as Eevee, which is a fast, real-time engine that is great for animations. However, because of the shortcuts it takes for speed, it is not as realistic as other engines such as Cycles. Cycles is a vastly slower engine, but is more accurate at lighting and is better for realism. But in addition to being slower, Cycles also renders with noise. We can combat noise by increasing samples or using denoising programs. In the last video, we went over materials and lighting. With our scene complete, we can now render it. To start, let's add a camera to our scene with Shift-A. Now we can position the camera and choose what will be rendered. By hitting 0 on the numpad, we can see from the camera's point of view. We can press N to open up a sidebar and go to View, Camera to View. This will keep our camera locked to our perspective when we look around. Let's position the camera. With our camera in place, we can now set our render settings. We can hit N again to close our sidebar, and then over on the right hand side we can see render properties. We can use either Eevee or Cycles. Let's switch to Cycles because it's more realistic. Let's hold Z again to go into rendered mode. Now you can see some faint noise around the rim of the coin. So let's go into denoising and then enable viewport and render denoising. Now there are other options, but this will do for now. We can also increase the sample size to get rid of noise, but that can lead to much longer render times. Now we need to set up our exporting options in the tab below. Since we're making an image, we need to have a picture format selected. We'll stick with PNG, but we could use JPEG for more compressed images. However, it's best to save as much detail and information as possible for other applications to use, and then to compress the image if needed. Let's start rendering by going to the top left and hitting Render, Render Image. A new window should appear and rendering will begin. If you notice that something is off in your render, you can cancel it by hitting Escape. Now we have our final image. With this series complete, you should be able to make and render basic objects. Thank you for watching.